Previously, on Pictures from Paradise, we told you how England stunned the cricketing world by winning the opening test of their 1990 tour of the West Indies.
Yes, he's misfielded. England won. Fantastic.
How they should have taken a 2-0 lead in Trinidad, only for a tour-ending injury to Graham Gooch.
He's taken Gooch on the hand. That's the second time.
The weather.
There seemed to just be this black cloud over the ground, and it just rained and rained and rained.
And then West Indian time-wasting denied them.
What a carry-on, my goodness.
And of course, all this drama was being played out on TV back at home, thanks to the revolutionary coverage being provided by the fledgling Sky TV.
We were in a battle with a rival satellite company.
6 months earlier, I'm playing Durham against York. Now there I am playing against Viv Richards.
Devon Malcolm has struck a mighty blow for England.
That's the second time Mosley has taken Gooch on the hand.
Huge appeal. Viv Richards has given him. The umpire wasn't going to give that.
Well, now it's late March 1990 and the tour has arrived in Barbados for a warm-up game against the island, a one-day international, and then the fourth test. And England's mounting injury crisis means that all of a sudden a dramatic recall for David Gower is in the offing.
When the injuries came, I discussed it with Graham and Mickey, and I said, listen, I think we need someone in now who's played Test cricket, and I wanted David to come back.
Reaction to the suggestion amongst the management was lukewarm, but it was agreed that he should play in the warm-up game.
We wanted to continue was with the same people who had prepared for the trip, had achieved success up to that date on the trip, and continued doing what we'd done right from day one when the tour started.
As it happened, Gower only made 4, and the notion of a glorious return to the England side was quietly binned, although that wasn't the picture the News of the World readers got.
I was quite pally with Graham, and it was just coming up to my deadline, and I thought I got a stare that he would play. So the date on the paper was April 1st, and I said, this is no April Fool's. David Gower will be playing in the Test match, and I got it absolutely, completely wrong.
And that's a pretty decent summing up of how the whole game went for England. Lamb, captain in place of Gooch, and without the also injured Fraser, won the toss and for some reason put the West Indies in. It didn't work as they made 446 with the extraordinary Carlisle Best making 164 of them.
That's a good shot. 4 more runs to Carlisle Best.
First of all, he had a toothpick. He used to bat with a toothpick. But he'd also commentate as well. Say if Devon Malcolm was at the end of his run, he'd say Malcolm at the end of his run runs in, he's running into Carlisle Best. Best was hit it for 4, and he'd go, Bessie, what a shot. 4 runs through the covers. And he'd be talking to himself like this. You know, I'm at short there, I've not come across this before.
He's got that through the gap magnificently for 4.
He was absolutely mad. He used to commentate as the bowler. He used to say the bowler's running in and Carlisle Best hits for 4. Great cover drive.
Oh, he's pulled that one magnificently. Take that. Into the gap, into the fence for 4. Carlisle Best is on fire.
That was Carlisle. He constantly talking to himself. That was just his thing. That was just his way.
There it goes, and that'll be a very popular half-century.
He was different, wasn't he? He was unique. He was also the local lad there, and it was just such an atmosphere. They were up on top of the roofs and jumping up and down. It was a real scene. He played brilliantly with real flair, real Caribbean flair.
He's pulled it away magnificently. A great shot into the fence down at square leg. He's made his maiden century. What a knock it's been. This is a great moment in the life of Carlisle Best.
For all the eccentricity of Best, though, his was not the innings that really caught the eye.
Viv Richards, one of the greatest batsmen of all time, has just arrived at the centre. Mr. Cool himself.
In April 1990, there was no doubt about it. Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards was, without doubt, the greatest living batsman playing cricket at the time. His mere presence was enough to turn the legs of some strong men to jelly. But in Jamaica, he'd been got out in both innings by Devon Malcolm.
Viv Richards going for the pull shot, and Devon Malcolm has has struck a mighty blow for England.
Got Viv Richards out once, twice. No. That doesn't happen very often.
Bowled him! He's got him! The King of the West Indies is on his way back to the pavilion.
There was still a level of respect for the Master Blaster, you know. All those guys, you got Viv Richards out in your heart. Have I really done that? But at the end of the day, you know, you can't celebrate too much, but in my heart, boy, there was some serious celebrations there.
The problem, if it was a problem, was that at the end of that game, Devon, very much the man of the moment, was put up to speak to the press.
One of the press guys reckon, Dave, you got Viv Richards out in both innings. Do you believe you've got the formula to get Viv out? And I went, naively, I said, rhetorically, I said, I probably have actually. I've got him out twice. The headlines on the sport pages was Malcolm, the chemist, who's got the formula to get Viv Richards out. I was stitched all ends up.
Viv was not impressed. The next test, of course, in Guyana was washed out, so there was no chance for him to put the record straight, and he then missed Trinidad through illness. But when Richie Richardson was caught behind off Gladstone Small on day one, everyone knew something momentous was about to happen.
He's under a little bit of pressure. He hasn't had much batting, but he is a great player.
We knew that one way or the other, somebody was going to dominate.
In the left corner, Devon Malcolm. In the right corner, Vivian Richards, representing the West Indies.
It was almost like Viv had a point to prove that he wasn't going to take a backward step against this new fiery Devon Malcolm.
And to take up the England bowling, here is Devon Malcolm.
I ran in, first ball. As you can imagine, it was going to be upstairs. Bounce out Vivi. Vivi just got with ease. Bang, 6.
And that's gone away for 6. Dropped beyond the boundary.
And you know what Viv was like. You know what? He walked down the pitch, does his gardening. The man passed, get close by me, he just said, showtime.
Magnificent shot. That's brought the crowd to life. Richards now really going.
Next ball, ran up, another bouncer again. Top edge over the slip, sent him that Jack Russell head.
And rolling away towards the boundary. The contest continues. And 2 to Richards.
Final ball of the over. I ran up a little bit quicker at Vivi's nose this time. Again, Vivi hooked me for 6.
It's gone away in the air. It's gone over. It's gone for another one. What a contest we've got here.
He ran past me and said, that should be 4 more, man. But I hope the captain keep you on. I said, 19. I've never been chirped so much in my life. Vivi took 19 runs off the over.
Viv was finally out for 70, while Devon finished the innings with figures of 0 for 142. Quite a come down from his 6 in Trinidad, and significantly, the West Indies were in control of the game. Having said that, England didn't fold. Thanks to Lamb's 119 and Robin Smith's 62, they sailed past the follow-on, and at 268 for 3 were dreaming of parity, if not a first innings lead. But a clatter of wickets, the last 6 fell for 61, meant that the West Indies were able to build on a lead of 88 and declare on 267 for 8, of which Haynes made 109.
There comes the declaration, and that leaves England 356 runs to win this match.
England had a day and 50 minutes to score 356, or more realistically, to survive and make sure the series would at least be shared. Their mission could hardly have got off to a worse start, with Larkins out second ball.
And for Wayne Larkins, out for his second duck in the match, up here.
He was replaced by Rob Bailey, who was just starting to find his feet when...
Oh, he's got him, caught behind down the leg side, huge appeal, and Viv Richards has given him. I tell you what, the umpire wasn't going to give that. Richards, oh, he ran down the wicket, doing that little jiggle with his hand.
I remember Curtly running into bowl. The ball went down the leg side. As it went down, I pulled my hands away slightly, I flicked my thigh pad, and taken by Geoffrey Dujon down the leg side.
I realized that it had hit something. What it had hit was really not up to me, but it was up to the umpire. But if I heard it hit something, I didn't see what it hit, I've got to appeal.
This was a very controversial decision. There can be absolutely no doubt about the fact that the umpire was walking away.
Lloyd Barker basically shook his head. And then Viv, who's standing at first slip, a sort of massive appeal, you know, one of the all-time great appeals, has gone from first slip sort of around to gully, around cover, coming in to short extra cover, coming up to the bowling umpire, appealing, and then Lloyd Barker went, that's out.
It looks clearly as if it's hit his thigh pad. And whether he did or not hit it, look at Richards, look at Richards. Oh dear, how can you put an umpire under pressure like that?
And I remember looking up and thinking, no, this just isn't right.
Have a look at the face of Bailey, he cannot believe it. Richards at this stage is almost down the other end of the ground.
I think Lloyd Barker was just pressured into it.
I can tell you what I remember now. I wish there was DRS. The crowd was baying. Everybody was shouting, including the players, not just Viv. I was concentrating on my decision. At first I wasn't sure, then I thought, yes, he hit it. I reviewed it on television a number of times since then, and I am not sure.
I didn't hit it now. I'd have been giving it that one these days, Charles, straight away.
Reaction to the incident was immediate. In the eyes of the English journalists at least, Viv was now public enemy number one for what was seen as a way over-the-top appeal. In the Times, Simon Barnes wrote about Viv's yelling, finger-flicking charge up the wicket that conned an indirect decision from poor Lloyd Barker, while Mike Selvey, in The Guardian, called it a demented and intimidating charge.
Up to this day, I would maintain that it's the blind side, and someone had a little flick.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought he nicked it.
Yeah.
I thought he nicked it, and I persisted with the appeal.
Yeah.
And Barker gave him out.
For all the heated discussion and views expressed through the various media outlets, though, the comment which attracted the most attention came from Chris Martin-Jenkins on the BBC.
What Christopher said was that a previously good umpire, or a very good umpire, was pressured into changing his decision. Back in London, the World Service, BBC World Service, have a listen across the line into Broadcasting House, and they're away in Bush House, and they say, oh, that's a good piece, we'll use that for our bulletins. And in the early morning in Barbados, it comes back to the West Indies.
It did not go down well, and the next day, which happened to be a rest day in the Test, saw the local phone-ins incandescent with rage.
It was described as the Martin Jenkins affair. You know, people were being asked, they rang in, I have an opinion about the Martin Jenkins affair.
Martin Jenkins was now the centre of the row, and it all ended with umpire Lloyd Barker serving a writ for defamation.
Apart from the revelation that in England innings can last longer than the time it takes to walk to the bar and back, the West Indies series has opened a second front of the war between the commentators. Christopher Martin Jenkins, the eminently urbane voice of the cricket establishment, has been sent a libel writ after he questioned an umpire's decision to give an England batsman out.
He said, I changed my decision. I didn't remember making a decision and saying not out. I guess they interpreted the fact that I started to move away as having said not out, which wasn't quite true.
I don't know if it was before the next ball was bowled or the ball after. And Lloyd Barker said to me, did you think he hit it? And I went, no, he didn't.
I don't remember that conversation. I certainly don't remember that conversation.
It was something of a relief for everyone then, when the game eventually resumed on day 5.
Oh, he's in the air, Richards has got him!
Stewart and Lamb were sent on their way relatively quickly, and with England 97 for 5, the West Indies were closing in on a quick kill and an early flight to Antigua. Except Robin Smith and Jack Russell had other ideas.
That's well played, right in behind that one.
They were still together at lunch.
Well, that's a magnificent shot.
They were still together at tea.
That's well left.
And they were still together with 45 minutes to go until the close. Were you starting in the West Indies camp to panic?
Yes, especially with Robin Smith there.
Tremendous effort by Robin Smith for the second time in this match. Come on, says Jack Russell, fight it out.
They were playing so well. I really thought we'd hold on there.
And that's a superb half-century, greeted by great cheers from the England spectators around the ground.
It was so tense in the dressing room. You know, can we hang in there? Can we hang in there?
He's taken that on the side of the head. Bishop just injecting a little more life now, a little more pace.
Unfortunately, when the new ball came, it was a different story.
So we do have the new ball coming now.
With it, Robin and I having batted that period of time, that was their next big hope, if you like, the new ball.
Curtly Ambrose. Bowled him! He likes it. Curtly Ambrose likes it. And Jack Russell's long vigil ends.
I was out to a scooter. I was out to the lowest bouncing ball of my career.
Well, what an agonising way for a fine innings to end.
It wasn't that long to go. You know, the light was coming in, shadows were coming down, and we were gone past 5 o'clock now. That I thought we could do it, but we lost a few more wickets quite quickly.
Ambrose to Hussain. Good ball, big appeal, got him out, LBW, he's got him, trapped him with a Yorker.
Once we got the first wicket, we smelled victory. We weren't going to drop any catches. We weren't going to, we were going to attack.
This is the last ball of the over. On the pair, he's given him out, LBW again. Yes, he's gone, LBW.
Within the blinking of an eye, it was all over as Ambrose took 5 wickets in 5 overs with the new ball to finish with what would end up being career best figures of 8 for 45.
Going in at tea, you're thinking, can we? Can we? And then Amby does what he's done for so many years and change the game.
It's over. The West Indies have won by 164 runs. The Stampede, 8 wickets for Ambrose, and the West Indies have won the 4th Test match in the Cable and Wireless Series. It's 1-1, and Curtly Ambrose is the centre of attention, you might say.
The series was now level at 1-1. Well, England were bowled out at just before 5:30 on that last afternoon, but they had no time to lick their wounds because they had to get straight to the airport to get a flight to Antigua for the next Test match, which started in just over 36 hours' time. Now, that was tough for England, but it was a nightmare for Gary Francis and his TV crew.
We hired a plane to take the kit around the island. It was a Convair. I think it was born in either the 40s or the 50s. It was ancient. A tired old bird is what the pilot actually called it before we took it for the first time. Also, we weren't sure exactly how much all our kit weighed, and there was a limit of 11,000 pounds, which is about 5.5 tons, and we only found out we were within the limit when we loaded it for the first time and it came to 5 tons.
In the air, Richards has got him, he's fumbled it, but he's got him out caught.
If the cameras were ready, England, in all reality, weren't. They were bowled out for 260 and then 154, while the West Indies only batted the once, scoring 446.
He's got a magnificent 100, Gordon Greenwich.
Which was based on an opening stand of 298 between Haynes and Greenwich, who both got big hundreds.
Well played, Desmond Haynes.
They treated our bowling attack like it was a schoolboy attack.
That's a huge hit.
When we got to Antigua, along with the schedule as well, which was really tough, the actual logistical schedule, I think when we got to that last match, I think we'd run out of gas, really.
If the cricket was all pretty predictable, an incident on the second morning was far from it. As the West Indies took to the field to polish off England's first innings, it was suddenly noticed that someone was missing from their lineup.
Well, the news from the centre is that Desmond Haynes, in fact, is in charge out there. Viv Richards is not on the centre. We haven't got a reason for you yet. We'll let you know just as soon as we find out.
It must have been a Saturday because the Sunday boys were there.
We were vaguely aware that Viv hadn't come onto the field.
Desmond Haynes was leading out the West Indies. I thought, that's a bit odd. Looked round and there's Viv in the back of the commentary box, not changed, wearing black jeans and a T-shirt.
And then suddenly he's in there and he's going berserk, storming at Jim Lawton.
I gather one of our number, who shall not be named, had shown Vivian something that had been written by James Lawton.
Jim had asked him a question the previous day about his V sign to the crowd. Viv had lost his temper then and said, "You write anything about that and I'll come back and whack you." Jim, being a very good journalist, of course did write something about that, and what's more, it appeared on the front page of the Daily Express with a very large headline, "Captain Viv blows his top." He kept referring to himself in the third person, which is never a good sign. This Viv is mad, Viv is very angry.
There are a lot of things, has been said in the papers about the way Viv Richards handle things, but the most important thing is that we are victorious, and I cannot see beyond that. If you can talk what you like about Viv Richards, you can talk what you like about the West Indies cricket team. I've got blinkers on at this particular moment. I'd like to think, that we're reasonably confident. You can write what you want to write. We are pretty confident, that we are still a good team.
Well, England finally headed for home on April the 18th, 1990, just about 3 months since they'd first set foot in the Caribbean. Now, get down your wisdom for that tour, and what does it tell you? Of a test series and a one-day series, both lost. Surely a story of failure. But is that really fair?
I think we were proud of the way we played because no one gave us a chance.
We won the first test match, which was great. We could have won at Trinidad, that would have put us 2 up. With 2 to play, that would have been superb. So if we'd have come away with a draw, probably would have been a fair result.
We introduced some new players, which was brilliant. Nasser turned out to be a wonderful test cricketer for England. Alex Stewart, one of the all-time greats. Jack Russell. And we proved that, we could stand up to the best.
The team moved forward a lot. I think we won a lot of fans over. Graham Gooch's way was working, and it was a new dawn in some ways, so there were more positives than negatives, definitely.
They played hard in the field, we played it hard in the field, and there's nothing more to it. I mean, whatever was written...
You have no grievances?
Of course not. I mean, that's cricket.
Everyone sort of looked and said, listen, we gave it our best shot.
We can come back with a result, but I think we came back with a lot of pride. Cricket became, not just a summer sport. People would come up and go, well, where are you in the winter, and what's the time difference, and is that on Sky, and what time can we watch it?
Hello and welcome to this first Sky telecast. Today we're at Sabina Park here in Jamaica.
You look back on it and you do think, how on earth did we do that? Because it was so new and it was so far from anything really that had been done before. 250 live hours of cricket from the West Indies.
In the air, got him, well taken, Lemmy. Yes, he's got his arm run out. This is a great moment in the life of Carlisle Best.
So that was the start of it all. And more and more people, yes, were coming up to talk about in the winter.
Magnificent shot.
Well played, the vice-captain.
Malcolm gets his 4th wicket.
But within 2 years, we were doing the same job in India. And soon after that, cricket was being done in the same way from all the places that had never had cricket before.
He's got him. That's the end of that. The Test series is over.
It was a bold gamble by us, and it paid off.
Right, well, that's the situation from up here. It's back to Tony Cozier in the commentary box.